OOPS, which typically stands for Object-Oriented Programming, is a programming model which makes use of mostly the concept of objects and classes to organize the code in a structured way. The key concepts what your OOPS will be taking care of. The first one is the word called class. So class is considered to be a blueprint for creating its multiple objects, and basically it is going to define attributes which is otherwise called as your variables and methods which are otherwise known as your functions. So a class is basically a combination of two things. One is a variable, other one is a method. In other terms, we can also say that class is a collection of similar type of objects. Now, what actually an object is? Object is nothing but is an instance of a class. When I say instance, it is something which is going to take up memory. Okay. So when I say class is basically a logical entity because it do not occupy any memory. And when it comes to object always going to take up the required memory. And it is basically represents a specific implementation of a class. Say for example, when I try to relate this class and object, if I say fruit is a class, then we can say apple is an object or orange is an object. So fruit is a general term which is going to specify that yes, every fruit has a color, every fruit has a taste, every fruit has a size. Okay, so all these are nothing but the attributes and the methods or the behavior we can see. Whereas object is going to take up all the properties what a class usually define. Encapsulation is the process through which the Python is going to wrap up the data and methods into a single unit, and it is going to restrict the access to certain parts of the program. So each time you define a class, obviously we are trying to put some attributes and methods inside that, so we can wrap up or we can just put them together and we can hide it from the others so that direct access may not be possible. And inheritance is one of the key characteristics of OOPS through which we are going to develop the reusable code. I mean, if a class is already existing with certain attributes and methods, if I want to create a new class with the existing set of attributes and methods of the previous class, and I want to add some new variables or new attributes and new methods to it, then inheritance is the best option to do that, because already we have got certain structure in the form of a class having attributes and method. By adding certain more attributes and more methods, you can easily create a new class as per our requirement. So one class we can inherit the properties and methods of another class. So here we are using a term like your child and your parent. Okay, so the new class that we create is called your child class, and the existing class from where we are inheriting the properties is nothing but called your parent class. Now polymorphism is nothing but it is the way where the method is going to behave differently based on the context. So we will see more detail of it. Actually polymorphism is a combination of two terms, like one is your poly, which means many, and morph is nothing but different forms. So the behavior of a particular method at a different context is nothing but the concept of polymorphism. So if I say one person can be father of a particular son or daughter, and he may be husband to his wife, so one person may be playing multiple roles and the context is different, so accordingly his role is also going to be different. So in polymorphism also we can have same method. I can write same method, but it's going to behave differently based on the context. So more on this we will understand when we start developing programs on polymorphism. Coming to the last one, that is your abstraction. Okay, so abstraction is nothing but the idea behind representing only the essential things and hiding the complexity of it. For example, if you go to an ATM machine, so you are just given an interface where you can easily interact, or using just give the input that is required and you can withdraw the cash. But what is hidden is the internal mechanism which is making sure that your cash has been withdrawn and given to you. Similarly, suppose you're driving a bike and you know how to drive the bike, okay? Usage of your brake, your clutch, your accelerator, gear, and all. But we do not need to have much idea on the mechanism or the engine, that how the engine is working. So hiding certain complex implementations, and it is going to show you only the features which are essential to us. So, and one more tagline we always say, that whenever we have abstraction, ultimately we have encapsulation. Because abstraction is, you can see, it is hiding some complex implementation. So how this can be done, how the hiding can be done, is by using the concept of encapsulation, because by hiding you are actually restricting the access to certain parts. So the tagline, like I said, abstraction always leads to encapsulation.